Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. All right, I'm in Taiwan, but I recognize that back home in the United States, we got the 4th of July coming up, and it's a long weekend. Now, the 4th of July has a different meaning to me as well. It's also the day we lost Mary Curry back in 1934. So it's kind of a sad day to me as well. Kind of mixed feelings because of that. I don't like my country either. So it's also sad in that regard. But I do like an occasional 3 day weekend, although having it on the 4th of July has a little bit of a problem. I'll talk about it in a second. But when I was in 6th grade, I discovered that there's a solution to having more 3 day weekends. And to understand how I thought about this, let's talk about what happened when we had a 3 day weekend. I was in 6th grade, and we had just had Martin Luther King or some other holiday, I can't remember what it was, that resulted in a 3 day weekend. It's a Monday that we had off. And then we went back to school, and we had a 4 day week, obviously. And by the time we got to the Friday of that 4 day week, I was like, gee, this week was too short. I really could have come to school another day and not, it wouldn't have been painful at all, right? After all, that's what I'm used to, right? But I really love 3 day weekends, right? Now, it dawned on me we could have both, right? You don't have to give up a school day or a work day in order to take a 3 day break, right? You just take a 3 day break and you work 5 days. And I was 12 years old when I thought about this. And I went up to my 6th grade history teacher and I told him, hey, I got an idea on how we could have a 3 day weekend every week. And I told him about it. And his first response was he looked at me like I had three heads. Like, where are we going to get the eighth day from? Right? And that was not an unusual response from all the adults in my life that I told, right? I think my classmates understood this idea a lot better than the adults in my life at the time. And I came up with it when I was 12 years old. That's how stupid this whole thing is, right? Now, in an ideal world, I would personally get rid of public holidays anyway. And here's why. I made another discovery also when I was in 6th grade, by the way. I would get all excited for a holiday. Martin Luther, Memorial Day, 4th of July, whatever, what have you. But the holiday would come, and then I would realize that, wait a minute, there's no benefit to it. The thing that I wanted to do, the restaurant that I wanted to go to, they're going to be closed, or they're going to, depending on the restaurant, right? It could either be closed or it could be busier than ever on the holiday that I want to take off. And as I got older and I moved out of my family's home, I realized that travel would also be more expensive if I wanted to take off during that holiday. And so the fact that it was everybody's holiday kind of negated the whole idea of having a holiday off. Now, in an ideal world, in a utopia, what would our calendar look like? Well, let's imagine you work 9 to 5. You work, you take 2 days off every week for the weekends, and you got some, I don't know how many public holidays we have, and add in how many vacation days you have at work, right? Let's imagine that in a given year, you take 120 days off, right, including your weekends, right? Well, here's what I would do. I would make every one of those 365 days of the year a work day and just give you 120 vacation days for you to choose whenever. We got to increase that a little bit because we got to have the 3 day week. 140 floating vacation days for you to use however you want, right? If you want weekends, go ahead and do that. If you work best by taking 3 days off in a row every week, you can do that as well. And you can choose your own holidays, right? That way, no day is completely you wouldn't have busy travel days of the year. You wouldn't have blackout dates, right? Because every day would be equally important, right? And every day would be equally productive. And I think this is the best of all worlds, right? After all, I personally think holidays kind of the concept of public holidays really go against the concept of separation of the church and the state, right? So and also different days mean different things to different people, right? I really think if we did this, we could have a lot more vacation days and be a lot more productive, right? Let me ask you this: how many times have you checked out on a Friday afternoon, going like, God, I'm still productive, right? Imagine the cure for cancer was lost because somebody was forced to take a weekend right before they were about to come up with it on a Friday afternoon, right? Or imagine another cure for COVID 19 was lost because, oh my God, had this person just had a 3-day weekend, they would have come back recharged and come up with a cure for COVID. I guarantee a lot of great stuff has been lost because we pigeonhole how people work and live, right? All right, just a thought out there. Happy 4th of July. Condolences to Mary Curry, 91 years. Oh, happy birthday to Malia Obama. I know her birthday's on the 4th of July as well. I think she turns 27 this year. And also condolences to in the 1980s, the U.S. accidentally shot down an Iranian passenger jet. July 3rd, 1988, Iran Air Flight 665, I believe. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.